Enemies gon' hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now. Hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now. Hate me now. Enemies. Busters got some mana, but I handle that, so hate me now. Got the Louis Slugger, you better cover when I hit a foul. You better be so quick to get it hip when the pistol show. All my niggas with me creeping slow, and we on that blow. Told the two that I use, searching for an easy man. Demon in me wakes, now I shake and don't feel okay. Yeah, I'm terrified in my mind, so corrupted too. Feel so blizzo, hizzo, off that snizzo, but still keep it smooth. Evil prim, stay so blitz, peasy down with Psycho Mike. Scheming, leaning all throughout the night, down in Metro Height. Bitch, you getting sprayed from grenade when I pulled up here. Catch the P, here with me, and we always going in. Waking, shaking in my bed, hating leaves you where y'all dead. Don't you rest so tears up, call your blizz up when I'm on my man. I face so much crime, stay inside. I have on my mind. Please don't shoot your kids on, send you his on, get your miss online. Enemies so close to me, especially gon' hate me now. Motivated jealousy, but still I elevate somehow. Smiling face all in my space, deep inside you hating me. Take that loaded Glock 19 and kill that kind with courtesy. Enemies so close to me, especially gon' hate me now. Motivated jealousy, but still I elevate somehow. Smiling face all in my space, deep inside you hating me. Take that loaded Glock 19 and kill that kind with courtesy. Hate me now, hate me now. Enemies gon' hate me now. Hate me now. Enemies.
You hate me now, nigga, damn, I thought we was cool. You hate me now, I don't get you.
You mad at me now, but all I do is laughing. Then chop a bullet, split him up like he a fraction. He run up on me, think it's chicken, now he past tense. Yes, I am evil Prince, but also Trey, so blast him. I catch him loafing, I'ma up the gun and let it bust. I got them niggas in the car ready to shoot shit up. You mention me, boy, I'm a killer, best not test your luck. Your bitch a groupie, all up in my DMs tryna fuck. These niggas lying in they songs, you know they capping. I'm on the block, I put in work, you niggas slacking. My nigga get jammed up and then we go and post bail. But if your nigga run up, we gon' send his ass to hell. Ain't have a ruler, kept a Ruger when I was in school. I'm hitting ops with this stick like I'm playing pool. Handy manny in this bitch, we got all the tools. You hate me now, damn nigga, I thought we was cool.
We was cool.
What's going on? MD checking in once again. MD checking in once again. MD's thought box, man. Real quick, just wanted to come on here and give my insight on my opinion on this story that's been making the rounds the last couple of days. And you see the topic, man, like taking freedom for granted, man. Is that the norm when a lot of us go to these foreign countries and go over there and do nigga shit? Like that's what it is. Let's keep it a buck. Um, so if don't nobody know what I'm talking about, so there was a story that came out last couple of days involving the young sister by the name of Tierra Allen. So Tierra Allen, I believe she an owner op. I could be wrong, but she a truck driver. So I felt some type of sympathy for her in that aspect. But then again I don't, because she do the grift, which a lot of other female truck drivers do, and in other industries, by showing the ass and the titties and clickbaiting a lot of other fellow truck drivers once you make videos and TikToks and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Do your damn job and take your ass out. I don't need to see your ass. I don't need to see your titties talking about truck driving. Like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? But in any event, um, she became an influencer in that aspect. as far as the trucking community on YouTube and TikTok and all of that. So she's been making a couple extra dollars. That provided her the ability to take these trips and do all this. Peace, Yanga, what's up? So so she went to Dubai a couple months ago, and she went over there with some friends, and nigga shit ensued. Let for lack of a better term. What happened was they were in a rental vehicle, her and a friend. They crashed the rental vehicle, crashed it in Dubai now. Crashed the rental vehicle. They towed the vehicle in, and they were doing detailed inspection on the vehicle for damage or whatnot. The sister Tierra Allen had her personal belongings still in the vehicle when they got to the back to the rental car place. She then asked to get her stuff out the rental vehicle. Now, I've been hearing conflicting reports on like exactly what happened in her interaction between her, and I'm assuming that this was management at the rental place. One of the stories I heard was they were saying, "Hey, look, like you can't do nothing in the car right now. No, you can't go near the car because we doing damage report on the car right now." Another report I heard, and this is what the mainstream media is going with, that they basically told her, "Hey, look, we doing detailed damage on the car right now, on damage report on the car. But if you throw me some dollars, I'll let you get your stuff out the car." In any event, that don't take away from the fact that it was a certain protocol that they were following in terms of inspecting the damage on the vehicle. That's when the nigga shit ensued. She made a row about it, and you know what I mean, and everything happened. It was said that the man, basically got bucked with her initially, and that's when she bucked back, and that's when she was arrested and charged with quote unquote screaming in public. Um, from the aspect of how I look at it, like the fountainhead say, I hold no responsibility toward men except for one, to respect their freedom. In the event that you go into a foreign country, despite whether you agree with the customs, the lifestyle per se, it is to your best interest, not only your best interest, but it is of the utmost respect to follow customs and say traditions of that particular country. But us as Americans, like I say, when we get jammed up in these particular situations, and I'm pretty sure that she said these exact words, and everybody said with me, "You can't do this to me. I'm American." And she got jammed up, and she's been detained in Dubai for the last 2 months. With that being said, the UAE, in a lot of respects, is lenient toward foreigners simply because they want your money. So they may be lenient toward certain aspects of Americanism, if I would call it that, but they're not going to tolerate niggerism in any form or shape. Now let's give a backdrop on the identity of the sister Tierra Allen. So as I'm looking at different media outlets trying to gauge what the situation was, come to find out, and this is what it really boils down to. Come to find out, this is not the only time where she involved herself in niggerism. Um, some of her friends disassociated themselves from her based on another trip that she went on in Puerto Rico, where she acted a damn fool and got everybody kicked out the Airbnb in Puerto Rico. being loud, being drunk. Now, mind you, don't know the relationship status of what the sister is in. But if I had to assume, now this is me assuming, if I had to assume she ain't married, it, does that provide any type of cultural content? No, not really. But in the aspect of this particular story in Puerto Rico, she was acting a fool, pouring drinks on the dudes, and not the dudes that was on the trip were the husbands of the women that were on the trip as well, pouring drinks on the dudes. Uh, the dudes trying to restrain her from her drunkenness, all this, that, and third, and just acting damn fool. The next morning, the Airbnb owner said, "Hey, y'all got to get the hell out." So this ain't the only time she's been involved in racing. Also, from the reports that I've seen, she has 2 DUIs up under her belt. Now, from what I saw, she wasn't the driver of the rental vehicle. I believe they were saying the friend was driving. How the hell you wreck in Dubai? I don't know, but in any event, she, from the reports I saw, that she wasn't the driver; she was the passenger. Anybody that and I can say this from an American aspect because I've been involved in a wreck with a rental vehicle, and I wasn't driving in that case, just like I assumed she wasn't driving. When that rental vehicle was wrecked, once they get the rental vehicle back to the place, and that particular rental place, like I said, it had a not a body shop, but it had like a where you it had a car bay. So they pulled it back to the car place, and you can't go nowhere near that vehicle. Finished doing the damage report. You know what I'm saying? Um, I can only assume, like I said, national rental vehicle places. I believe they got some in Dubai, like around the airport. So I don't know if they was dealing with a local rental car place. Forever seven. I'll tell you what I'm talking about in a second. So I don't know if they was dealing with like a local rental car place, or are they dealing with like a like a multinational rental car, like Enterprise or Budget or some shit like that. But I can only assume that they was because in a lot of foreign countries, these multinational companies like Enterprise and stuff, that's what allows you to drive in those particular foreign countries based off your U.S. driver's license. That gives you the ability to drive the vehicle in a foreign land. Otherwise, you don't have the right to drive a vehicle in a foreign land unless you go through an exchange. Damn, I forgot what they call it. Like when the people go and like test drive them supercars over there in Dubai. They could have done that, but they wasn't gonna let her nowhere near that car. Now I can only assume dude like, hey, look, slip me a couple $100 up under this table and I'll let you go and get your stuff. If not, you're gonna have to wait. And she started acting a fool. So her Americanism, her Americanism, okay, that was up forever. So her Americanism superseded any cultural aspect in that country, in her eyes, in her opinion. Oh, I ain't even know Black Son. What's up, Black Son? Oh, I guess he up out of there. But in any event, say what?
Oh no, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
No. I ain't even know you was on here. I just looked at the screen when I was looking at the chat or whatever. So again, taking freedom for granted, and I don't want to make this gender specific because it ain't. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the examples that we do have usually involve black women. Now, how much of it is the aspect of trying to play both sides, where you for more or less of a term, you try to solidify your American bravado, so to speak, within a society that don't accept that, if that makes sense. So you try to exemplify Americanism by doing a certain activity or talking a certain way, and then come to find out that's not the move in the particular location that you at. But it's almost as if you're trying to exude a particular ideology on somebody else. Now, in the aspect of being American, that's infringing upon another person through collusion or coercion or whatever. How you gonna do? And this is the dumbassery of it all. How you gonna expect to do that in another country? Not only another country, but the damn UAE. Which I said, if I compare the UAE to Saudi Arabia, the UAE way more lenient. Dubai way more lenient than the crown prince in Saudi Arabia. Well, your ass got to go full fledged long sleeve shirt, and you know what I'm saying. So like we got to get out the dumbassery. Yeah, hijab and all of that.
Yeah, you got to go with hijab. You talking about long sleeves, bro? You got to go full hijab, bro. You playing, MD? You playing, bro? I ain't gonna let you play, bro. No, I'm not gonna let you play, bro. You gotta go full hijab. You playing with these people, man. Let me cut in just for a minute, man.
Go ahead.
Not only, okay, so we talking about the disease of the Constitution, the benefits of the Constitution that we don't even realize. And it's not just black women, it's black men, it's goddamn white women, Karen. It's just people who are born here in America, because I can't say it's black women, because it's black women born in Tunisia, they're born in these other countries, and they have a whole different mentality. It's when they get a taste of that Constitution. When they get a taste of that Constitution, that freedom that we take for granted, that is the deciding factor between us and the rest of the goddamn countries. It's a whole different mentality. Right. It's a whole different mentality. So I'm not only even playing just to blame on black women. Hell, black men too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Black men too. We could go to these other countries and we wild out thinking that we're still in America. But it's the disease of the Constitution within our DNA. I keep telling up here that Constitution is in our DNA.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say black women is because that's what's being portrayed in society.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
I mean, look at all the examples recently of situations where some shit done happened abroad. It's usually been with a black woman. That's the only reason I said that. I wasn't trying to say that black women are the predominant people that's doing this shit. I was just saying the media displays black women in these particular situations. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Whether that be social media or mainstream.
Well, can I give you an anecdotal example? I'm a kind of back up your argument, but it's an anecdotal. Y'all know my niece, man, Rule Breaker. She's gonna be on here real soon. And also, me and Yanga, we know a sister in Nigeria. Her name is Yetunde. Both Yetunde, because Yetunde was raised here in America, and my damn Rule Breaker, they have both, as black women, have said that. Now, this is anecdotal. Not all black women have said they don't care about the rules and regulations in other countries. And I'm like, how can you not care? You gotta, like, what the hell? But again, that comes from being here in America, this nonchalantness, because again, America provides this liberalism, this extreme liberalism, and we tend to take it other places, and I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't
So
understand it, man.
clarify what you mean when they said they don't care, meaning that they're indifferent to the rules in other countries, or they gonna do what the hell they want to do in
They
them other
gonna do what
countries.
they want to do in other
Oh,
countries.
okay. Yeah. How you can, and that's why I said a lot of people tend to exude their Americanism in other countries, whether it be for bravado or arrogance, or I don't know what it's for. But how do you go to another country thinking that your Americanism supersedes the rules and regulations and statutes of that country? Maybe it's because a lot of people, and again, well, if we use the example of the UAE and Dubai, it's a it's a income driven society in which a lot of aspects of Dubai are fueled on the tourism of other countries. So that's one of the reasons why they're more lenient in Dubai than a place like Saudi Arabia,
Right.
which don't really need your money. I mean, Dubai don't either, but Dubai has nestled into a crevice where tourism has
Well,
become a huge
Du-
part of their economy.
Dubai and Saudi Arabia need our military, so that's why they tolerate us.
Well, Saudi Arabia don't tolerate anything American. That's what I'm
Well, no,
saying. It's
they
a difference.
right,
It's a difference
right.
between Dubai. A woman can go to Dubai and don't have to wear a hijab.
That's true.
Whereas she go to Saudi Arabia, she putting on that goddamn hijab, or at
Right,
least something that cover her head. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's the difference, because Dubai is very tourist driven, whereas Saudi
Right.
Arabia ain't. You know what I'm saying? A large part of Dubai's economy is based on tourism. So they become more lenient in a lot of aspects of Islamic law, whereas Saudi Arabia got the crown prince. They don't give a damn. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yep.
That's what I was saying. You can go to Dubai and wear whatever the fuck you want to wear. You know what I'm saying? You can't necessarily do that in Saudi Arabia. So that's the aspect in which I was talking about. Let me see.
Okay.
I've heard women say, "I don't care if you're a cop here in America." I mean, yeah, that. Uh,
Yeah, I've
so
heard that too.
so is it deep? So is it deeper? So is it deeper than just Americanism? Is it deep? Do is it a sense of entitlement based on the freedom, not
Yep.
necessarily trying to exude the freedom, but the entitlement based on it? For hell, not just in foreign countries, for any goddamn body. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And a lot of it, and see, this is what I really wanted to get into. A lot of it is based on conservatism. That's why I said a lot of women. Now I'm just sticking to the women part of it because that's who we dealing with. A lot of women, and like I said, we talking about black women, so I'm gonna keep it there. I don't, we gonna keep it in context. A lot of black women want the aspects of conservatism to benefit them, but also want the aspects of progressivism to solidify their independence or their inclusion in society. Do that make sense? So what
It
do I mean
does.
by that? Meaning that from a progressive aspect, women want to be seen as an equal, but from a conservative aspect, women want to be coddled and treated in a certain light based on conservative values. So if we gonna make it if we gonna take it to an individual aspect, a woman expects a certain decorum from a man conservatively in a relationship. Let's just say, like we're gonna use that as an example. A woman expects to be wined and dined, to be treated a certain light. Now all this is from conservative aspect. I mean, hell, even go down to dating a woman.
Right.
You're expected to pay for the dinner and provide all the accommodations. That's a very conservative aspect of a relationship. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then we'll turn around and deny the conservative aspect of a woman being, let's just say, quote unquote, submissive to said person that's providing these accommodations to them. Straddling the fence like a motherfucker. Now let's broaden that and bring it back to the sister Tierra. She wanted the full accommodations of her experience in Dubai, but didn't want to accept the conservative aspect of the society of Dubai. How that work?
Right.
Microcosm, macrocosm. Crazy as all hell. So we got to start being realistic in how we perceive that. That goes back to what I said. You got progressive language, conservative language, libertarian language. I prefer the libertarian language based on its individually assessing each person, not as a group. I cannot infringe upon this person's right based on A, B, and C. Whereas conservatism says all people must follow A, B, and C. Or progressives say all people must be included in A, B, and C. She wanted to be included in A, B, and C, but didn't want to follow the rules and regulations of A, B, and C. So I think if we start to be more politically minded, you wouldn't have situations like, well, at the end of the day, she was just a ratchet. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. She was a ratchet. Just shit, you can't take the ratchet out of the woman, as they say. You could take what was it say on Menace Society? Don't be a menace. You could take the sheiky out the hood, but you can't take the hood niggas out the sheiky.
Right.
That's what we're dealing with at the end of the day. That's a whole different aspect, but I'm just saying politically, we have to stop undermining what our rights are versus how our rights affect other people.
Right.
In Dubai, anything from a let's just say patriarchal, because that's what everybody like to use. From a patriarchal aspect, can infringe upon the patriarchal society. Hey, that's their rules. What I got to do with that? If I take my black ass over there, I'm expected to follow a certain aspect of their tradition. How do you not know that? Well, I'm pretty sure she did know that. She I guess just didn't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? But that's a hard pill to swallow when your ass been in Dubai jail for 2 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hell, probably when she get out, she'll be Allahu Akbar and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
But I tell you one thing: once she get up back over here to these states, she gonna lick the ground and praise and white Jesus that she back in America. We got Yang in the house. What's up, Yang?
What's going on? What's going on?
Can't call it, man.
You know what, man? And it's funny to hear you taking this stance. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I don't know what she said, but one of the things is, when I found out you was doing this show, I looked up Dubai's constitution. It's not unlike ours, or unlike America's constitution, I should say. So I don't think what took place with her would be unlike anything that took place over here if you get a disorderly conduct.
Oh,
but
Yanga.
Man, look at their constitution. They got freedom of speech. Yeah, they got freedom of speech. No, the freedom of press. They have no. It doesn't say anywhere in their it's cleverly worded like our Constitution. You see how we cleverly omit slavery, yet we know that energy exist. It's the same with their constitution. I was just looking it up. Women or not, it's equality and equity all across the board. You should not be discriminated from based on your race, religion, or your gender. I think the biggest difference is, I forget what article they have, it is 115 or something, is that family is the cornerstone and God is the cornerstone of that. So that it's very heavily religious overtures in it. But other than
Okay.
that, yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. So are we not to assume you said family and God were the cornerstone? So
Mhm.
God meaning Allah at the end of the day.
I mean, you can assume that, but it doesn't say that. In Dubai, they have Christians and Jews. So we could assume that we would be using Western anti-Islamic propaganda or Western anti-Islamic understanding. But it says God, like it says on our dollar bill, in God we trust. Is that white Jesus? Is that Allah? Is that Buddha? Is that, who is that?
Okay, so what you're gonna make me have to do is dive deep
Yeah.
into the political aspect of UAE. That's fine. That's fine. You gave me some homework.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll come up with a hypothesis. My hypothesis is, once I've researched the political foundations of UAE, I'm 95 to 98% sure that I'm gonna come up with a theocratic government.
I'm sure it's theocratic. I'm sure it's theocratic, but it's not run by the Sharia. It's
No,
not.
it's not Sharia law
Right.
like Saudi Arabia.
Right, exactly.
Saudi
So I'm
Arabia
sure.
is Sharia law.
Right, I'm sure it's theocratic. Therefore, it's putting God, like ours is we don't have a theocracy. But Thomas Jefferson and everybody, they were deists, so they believed in it. Yes, they were, man. Thomas Jefferson, man, you better look it up. Thomas Jefferson was a deist. Look it up. Look it up. What do you think he was?
Okay, first of all, Benjamin Franklin was an atheist, and so was Thomas Jefferson.
No, he wasn't. Thomas Jefferson was a deist. He was a deist.
Then why did he want to separation of church and state?
Because of what they came from. He didn't want Christianity. I didn't say he was a Christian. I said he was a deist. He believed in morality and he believed in a God concept, not in a religious form. But Thomas Jefferson was a deist. You can look it up. He believed in a God. Check it out. We can go. We can come back and revisit that. But Thomas Jefferson was a deist.
You must want to debate this, Jaeger.
Hey, man. Hey.
I am a Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin expert when it comes to that. Jaeger.
Look it up then. I think that you overlooked that. You want him to be atheist so bad that you're overlooking that.
No, but we're talking about applications to the Constitution.
Yeah, which I don't. It was.
We're not talking about his personal whatever his belief.
Exactly.
Whatever, but no, that does not apply to where the country should go. So that's real misleading, and when you say, well, that's almost like saying this is a Christian nation. It's not.
No, it's not. I mean, you can say that. No. It's not misleading. It's misleading to try to say that there wasn't a God concept in the founding of the country. That's what's misleading. There still was a moral. And when you say God concept, a moral concept, and that's what I'm telling you about the same with Dubai's constitution. It says God. Now, the interpretation of God may be up to the individual. Just like in the Bill of Rights. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, just like in the Bill of Rights, they we talk about inalienable rights given to man under God and endowed by a supreme being and a super creator. It doesn't say white Jesus. It doesn't say Allah. It leaves it up to man's interpretation. But there still is a God concept, a moral calling, if you will, a call to morality. And so that's what you see when you look into the Dubai Constitution, because I looked it up, and just like you said, I'd have to go deeper, but it isn't unsimilar to the American Constitution.
Well, here's the thing, though, gang. There's no charge in America. I guess you could compare it to like maybe disorderly conduct.
Mm-hmm.
But there's
exactly.
no. She got charged for screaming at a man. We all know what that is, Yanka. That was her direct charge. Even if you go look at the interview that they did with the mother and the attorney, he pretty much said, "Hey, look, it's unfair to women in Dubai as far as decorum and acting in a certain light." So he pretty much said it's a theocracy, meaning that it's patriarchal in the aspects of the society given unto them by Islamic tradition. So if you disagree with that, then you're gonna have to go back and see, well, how was it contradictory versus what she was charged with and what the Constitution says? Because that's what the charge is. The charge is screaming. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. Like I said, I can only take it akin to how we look at disorderly conduct. I mean, you just can't be out in public being belligerent and you'll get locked up for that shit here. You're right. But does it still make it something that's unjust to the person that was doing the act? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But from what I saw, the charge was screaming at a man. We all know what that shit means. That ain't got nothing to do with patriarchy in and of itself. We know where that comes from in the context of being in an Arab country.
Conjecture. I mean, I'd have to see the paperwork. We all know, those of us know that those of us that know Cornell X knows Cornell X is a sensationalist. No disrespect,
Okay,
Cornell.
okay, you saw that interview then.
Yeah, I saw the interview, and it's sensational. It's very sensational. I think that it's anti-Islamic propaganda. I think that it's playing off of what we perceive Muslim countries to be. But when you go look at that, like I'd love to see the charge screaming at a man. I want to see that on the paperwork. I think that I think Cornell X is playing off the sentiment and playing off of perceived notions of Islam and the treatment of women in Islam. Like you said, basically, like you gave the scenario, I don't know what she said, but I know individuals who snap like that. It could be anything from disorderly conduct to terroristic threat. We don't know what she said, but because it happened in Dubai, because it happened and they happen to be Muslim, and as an attorney is smart. That's the card I would play. That is the exact card I would play. But when you look at their constitution, there is nothing in their constitution stating that it is a crime for her to raise her voice at a man.
Yeah,
there may be some there may be some local ordinance because they have freedom of speech, freedom of press. You know what I'm saying? I mean, equality.
They got a lot of freedoms that neighboring Saudi Arabia don't got. That's what I was saying to Black Sun. So I can't necessarily equate it to Sharia law because it's not Sharia law.
Exactly. So my question I would pose the question that you posed to me one time, and even Black Sun posed one time. So is it the system or is it the people? To me, it's the equivalent of what happens over here in America. Slavery, racism, black people isn't spelled out in the Constitution, yet we receive the brunt of racist treatment. You see what I'm saying? Though it's not spelled out in the Constitution, word-wise, the Constitution could be a perfect document if you want to go that far, word-wise. However, the implementation, am I saying that right? Implementation, the actual acting of the Constitution is, we find a lot of times far removed from the people who have been charged to enforce it and uphold it. I would say the same thing over here. If that is the case, then I would say that it's more the sentiment of the people, of men, than actually spelled out in their legalities. I think
So okay, real quick, put it in context. You said that you could see a stark comparison in terms of the implementation of the Constitution. So
Mm-hmm.
if we comparing the two, we're talking about a disparagement to a certain group over here in America, i.e., black people.
Mm-hmm.
What's the disparagement in Dubai toward who?
If it was one, it would be of my preconceived notions. It would be women. It would be
Okay.
women. But all of that would be my preconceived notions. If they went just like America could do and legally show where there is no systemic racism, they could legally present the paperwork to the world and say, what systemic racism? What are you talking about? Look what this beautiful, articulate wording or document we have. I'm saying Dubai could do the same thing. I'm saying that the charges that are being made as far as legally from just, and this is just surface, like you said, I just glossed over it, but legally can be substantiated. That it is the sentiment of the people. It's just like it is the equivalent of what we suffer in racism over here. Legally, in the wording, you can't pinpoint racism, but we see it implemented. I would say it was, if that is such the case, if it is because she was a woman, I would say that you won't find it in their legalities, in their laws, in their codes, but it is just an unspoken code amongst the men, like an unspoken code amongst white people in America.
All right, cool. So with all that being said, I don't know how much of the show you caught. With all that being said, I gave background to other instances that she's been involved in.
Right, right. I caught that.
She was also in Puerto Rico
Mm-hmm.
doing nigga shit and got kicked out of Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
So all of what you said, that's all well and good. How much is it is involved in just the aspect of being belligerent? Is it justified?
Yeah, I think about 90%, probably 90%. Like I said, I don't know what she said, but I know I've talked to foreigners who, first of all, say the attitude of Americans suck when they come to their country. They say the first thing they holler, doesn't anybody speak English in this damn place? You know, here you are in a here you are in a whole nother country, and you're ready for people to cater to you. So I've heard that a lot from the foreigners, and then just knowing how I hate to make a blanket indictment, but knowing how a lot of our sisters get out. And America, if anything, America is tolerant of their Negroes. You know, America can be tolerant of their Negroes. That's how we do things over in America. We can go order a sandwich, and the damn server would get to arguing with us. The server and the customer would be back and forth arguing. So I think it's just that whole American attitude. I don't know if it's a black woman attitude or whatever, but I will say in a foreign country, it's an American attitude. Since I'm predominantly surrounded by black women, I'm going to have to say I know how the sisters get out. And she was just in a place that probably didn't tolerate that. Like I said, I want to know what she said. I think that they're making a mountain out of a molehill. I would love to see the charges say she screamed at a man. She probably called him all kind of pussy camel riding, punk ass, dress wearing, towel head. Come on, Mindy. You know how sisters get out. Yeah, you punk ass, sand nigga, camel riding, patty eating. You know, I mean. And she's from Houston. Yeah. So yeah, man. Our women can be rough, especially if they sense some weakness in you. But that's why they're laid back over there. Their police force is effective. They're not gonna go back and forth with you. They're not gonna argue. They're gonna call the Gestapo. And the Gestapo, yeah, and they're gonna come get you. And like I said, like Son and I were talking about, over here in America, jail is a business. So they keep that shit functioning to a degree. It's not the best place in the world to be, but it's functionable. You know, either they get you in and out, you get a bail bond, you can buy your little snacks, you can use the phone because it's a business. Over there, when you go to jail, it really is a deterrent. You don't have all those little amenities. You go to jail over there for 30 days like you did 5 years.
Yeah, she's been in there for 2 months.
Hell yeah, I know it's driving her ass crazy.
2 months.
I know it's driving her ass crazy.
Why it's not coming out now, I don't know, but...
Yeah, what the State Department doing? What's up with that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Is it even an embassy in the UAE? I don't know. I'm assuming it is. But
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't heard nothing about it.
You coming in and out, MD. Uh-oh. We lost you for a minute, brother. Now, I wonder what the charges are to have her be held that long. I don't even think they hold you that long on a disorderly conduct. So, I really am curious as to what the charges are and what she could have quite possibly said to get such a reaction. 2 months, 60 days, you know. So, yeah, I'm curious to that.
I just said,
There you go.
I don't even think officially. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, all right, cool. So, like I said, all the reports I've been seeing, she hasn't officially been indicted on anything yet. You know what I mean?
Wow, she's just being held.
Uh, uh, yeah, she's being detained, basically. You know what I mean? With the charge potentially being screaming at a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now she's just detained. She ain't been indicted on nothing.
Now, see, that could be a problem. That due process, the right to a speedy, fair, and speedy trial. You know, that could quite possibly be a problem over there. I mean, it's real. It's real. I wonder what the State Department is doing. Your connection is terrible, brother. We can't really hear you.
Or another place, whatever the situation may be. Why do we feel the need to exude Americanism upon everybody else?
Supremacy. Supremacy. It's just that simple. America has a supremacist attitude. Its founding fathers were supremacists. So it's a supremacist attitude. And so we carry that with us. You know, we carry that with us. Supremacy. Americans are catered to. You know, Americans are really catered to. And one of the reasons is we're big capitalists. We are big capitalists.
Uh-oh.
You know, our tourism dollars are big money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We go around the world spending dollars. So they cater to us. They go, you know, like I was making a joke. Somebody says, "Do you speak English here?" But when you go around the world, they have special spots, resorts, whatever may have you, that cater to an American type of clientele.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, yeah. So we go around. So with the world being subservient to us, it just breeds a certain type of attitude. And so you have Negroes going around the world with an air of American supremacy. And I get it. You know, you go around the world and you see these cats living how they living and doing, you're like, damn, I thought I had it bad.
Exactly.
But you know, right. But you have to be mindful. Yeah. You can do that on. Yeah. You know, you can do that on a reservation. I've gone to Native American reservations and be like, shit, this is terrible. You know, but however,
I done seen it.
You done seen it, huh? You know, but however, it's this attitude thing of, you know, and then do we address my whole thing? Like I said, I'd love to hear what she says because there's an underlying issue here, and I know this may get me in a lot of trouble, but it's the attitude of black women.
Uh-oh.
You know, I may have to do a show. There you go. There you go. I may have to do a show on that. It's the attitude of our sisters. You know, now my sister just got back from Dubai. She's in the military, of course. You know, Dubai does hundreds of millions of dollars in tourism. And you have a case like this. Why is it a black woman? You have a case of Brittany Griner. in Russia? Why is it a black woman? Why is she trying to smuggle even weed residue in Russia? Why are we trying to hustle and get over this? And why is it black people? Why is it black women? Does this speak to a particular attitude? Black women don't want to address that. They'll be quick to holler about the patriarchal society of Dubai, the Muslims and this and that. But let's talk about this sister. And like you so adequately went back and did the research, that there's a history of a stank ass attitude.
Yeah.
There's a history of some nigga shit. Like you know, we both call it the same thing. That sense of entitlement. You know, you gonna come down here and you gonna run your mouth. Even to the point of, and this is what me and Big Mike got into it about over at Straight Talk with on Straight Talk Society. And I get what he was saying. I still don't think it's wrong for a woman to run her mouth. It may not be the best idea, but even to the point like this woman here, even to the point of our women get so caught up that they stop even doing threat assessment.
Right.
They get so caught up that they allow their egos to get them so caught up that they don't even say, hey, you know what? Right now, it may not be about my ego. This is a fuck nigga, and I know he's a fuck boy, but right now, this may not be the safest thing for me to do.
They got the Hulk syndrome, man. They got the Hulk syndrome. The angrier
what they hoping
they get,
for, MJ? What they hoping for,
the
MJ?
angrier they get, the stronger they get. You know what I'm saying? And the more out of their mind, you know, they become. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The irrationality increases with the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it a buck.
Hey, man, I've seen it. Yeah, get completely irrational. And I think that that's something that they, you know, women are going to have to do. We're going to have to be able to talk about and be honest with it. It's almost like the race conversation with white people. It's there. You want to talk about it, but you tiptoe around it. Sister, some of y'all have shitty, shoddy attitudes. I know you're going to, well, if the man did this and if the man did that, but some things are about threat assessment. Some things are just about progression. You know, attitude determines altitude.
Right.
You know, and I don't know if you're mad at the world or whatever, but just the way that you're going about it. And we see with Tierra Allen over here in Dubai, whatever she did, apparently it wasn't the wrong answer. We can sit here and say, well, you know, it was wrong and she should have raised it. But, you know, however, when I say threat assessment, look where it landed her. And she hadn't even been indicted.
Right.
Now, you want to talk about shit that is a drastic difference, is that shit right there, due process and the right to a fair, impromptu or a fair, speedy trial. See, that due process shit they may not have over there. Be sitting 60 days and not be indicted. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we do it over here, though. We do it over here, but it's still bullshit. We, at least in our law, have a thing called due process. I don't know if they have due process. I don't know if she can get, you know, petition for a speedy trial. That's crazy. And what the hell is the State Department doing? You're going to have to keep us posted on this, MD.
Yeah. I'm going to follow up, man. And like I said, it go back to what I was talking about straddling the fence. I'm all for equality. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm an individual at the end of the day. I think all people should have equal footing under the law, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, you also have to have equal responsibility under the law. Going back to your threat assessment issue, how many situations we done seen a woman escalate a situation, and then when things get a little shoddy, she expect reinforcements or defense from another person. No, wait a minute. It's your responsibility in the sense of equality to understand the situation you in.
Absolutely.
But for the sense of you exuding your independence, you escalate a situation to you're no longer in a position to stand on your square and defend whatever position you just
absolutely
put upon, to the point where it becomes physical. Then when it becomes physical, you expect from a conservative aspect for a man to then come into the defense of whatever situation you just got put in. Straddling the fence.
Absolutely. I call that relying on the group dynamic and the social moral, the social cultural structure of the group dynamic. Like, as an individual, you'll jump out there And then when the shit cracks off, you want the understanding of the group dynamic that men protect the women. I'm a woman in this group. Why am I being suppressed? Somebody help me. Now you want the group, but as an individual, you was running your mouth as an individual. So you better handle your shit. But that's like you said, threat assessment. Just really just like, yeah, I want my individual rights. I get you and I had this talk. Yeah, I want my individual rights. But I don't want my individual rights to infringe on the group's harmony. Like I don't want this particular individual rights to infringe on my individual harmony, which ultimately goes to the group's collective harmony. If I'm at harmony, the group's at harmony. So yeah, so it's like, and then even then, was she, like I said, I love to know what she said. Was she calling on her individualism as a person who had been wronged? But I kind of agree with you. And I know we're being presumptuous, but I wonder if she went in there, I'm an American, called on the whole group dynamic of being an American. I'm an American.
I guarantee
you
that's what she said.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
You know it. That's, I told you that American supremacy. It gives us that, man. You know it.
Right.
You know it.
And like I said, I ain't saying that she didn't have a justifiable reason to not necessarily cause the conflict, but I mean her belongings was in the car. Now anybody, like I said, I gave the example. I've been involved in an accident involving a rental car. When they get that rental car back to wherever they take it, they get you as far away from that car as possible because they have to then go into a damage assessment for insurance purposes. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the same thing goes over there in Dubai. So I believe what she said, that the dude probably said, hey, look, you throw me a couple $100, I'll let you go and go in there and get your stuff real quick.
I'll break the rules. Absolutely.
I guarantee that's what. So, but she felt some type of way about that, and then probably started to raise hell. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it popped off. Again, I don't know what was said. According to a lot of reports I've heard, it's surveillance video as well, but of course they ain't released that yet.
Right.
They're probably not gonna release it.
Right.
So I'm almost sure that's what happened. The dude said, "Hey, look, you slipped me a couple dollars up on this table. I'll go let you get your stuff." And she probably said, "Oh hell no, you finna give my stuff now.
You finna give my shit.
You finna give my shit. You know how it go."
Yeah.
And from there, like it jumped off. But and dude said, "Hey, look, let me go and call UAE police right now."
Yeah. Like they do in America. You know what I'm saying? They tell them how to handle with Negroes. Okay, I know how to handle a Negro. I'm gonna call the police. I mean, that's what they do. And like I said, they're again not going into the proper either threat assessment or what you said, being irrational. He has your property. He has your car. He is in control at this particular moment. Why blow? Why fucking blow? What are you going to accomplish? You know what I'm saying? You're not going to bully him. You ain't going to whoop his ass. You're not going to. And then, like you said, let's talk about it. Even if it isn't written in the letter of their law, even if it isn't spelled in the code, we know that these people have a problem with women. And I can only assume probably black women, particularly just black women talking to him like that. So like I said, even if it isn't in the letter of law, his sentiment may be that. So he's going to be an extra asshole. So it's just about really gauging the situation and handling it accordingly. I would love to see the surveillance and known what she said to land her in jail. I don't think I would, something you said earlier, Dubai relies so heavily on tourism and has such a good working relationship with America. I don't see them just really nitpicking or doing this just to mess with them. If it was, like you said, Iraq, Iran, somewhere we got Russia, somewhere where we've been going back and forth, I could see them nitpicking. Dubai, I'd really like to know what the hell they said. Be like, we're going to lock your ass up. They didn't come in there and just like, look, go your way. They was like, nah, you going to jail.
Yeah. And like I said, that was I was telling Black Son that, like, no, you can't compare, even though there's aspects, you can't compare UAE to a place like Saudi Arabia where ain't none of that allowed.
Right.
Hell, women, let alone a rental car, women trying to fight just to drive
to drive. They
in
can't even
Saudi Arabia.
drive
You
in
know what I'm
Saudi.
saying?
You know what I'm saying? Right. Shit, they don't
So
play
so
none of
from
that.
that, yeah, from that aspect, it's got to be more to it. And if I was to assume the determining factor was nigga shit,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, that's what we're dealing with, man. Like yeah, like we can't let, especially going into these foreign countries, we can't let our Americanism supersede these people laws and statutes, bro. It just ain't gonna happen.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It
Absolutely.
just ain't gonna happen.
Absolutely. Especially if you go over there and you practicing Americanism and get home and you don't fucking vote. Or you don't
Yeah,
get you know what I'm saying? You all political and shit when you traveling across seas and get in and don't even participate in your own political determination.
yeah, yeah,
So that's crazy. Because we
yeah.
could, participating in your political determination makes a world of difference. It's one of the differences as far as the State Department moving with a sense of urgency in this woman's case.
Right, right.
You know, in
Yeah,
Miss Allen's case. But until we, had Brittany Griner not been a WNBA star, I question how swiftly they would have moved in her
yeah.
incident. But
Well,
yeah,
well,
man,
yeah. With Brittany Griner, man, I think it was more of a political ploy than anything. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah. Like
absolutely.
did
But
like you can't put that in this situation based on that aspect. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she
it
got
was a
more
political
influence.
point. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and she got more influence, so they was holding them. But I put it in there in the sense of trying to get away. Why was you trying to bring weed to, even though it's illegal? Oh, it's just residue. I can hear it now. They ain't gonna trip this. Okay, okay.
right.
You know, just certain little shit like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, yeah. So this is, you know, to me, yeah, and then they are little differences, but it's just that attitude. So when we go to this thing, it's it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, man. We're gonna see how this play out. Now that the media got it. Maybe it'll
Absolutely.
move a little faster, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. We'll see. Listen, man, I appreciate you letting me come on, have them comments. I'm gonna jump off, I'm gonna fall back. I'll be listening though. But let me get
No,
this
no
finished,
doubt, no
getting this
doubt,
day started. All right, man.
no
Peace.
doubt. All right, P. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. I just wanted to come on real quick and talk about that aspect, man. Like I said, I think it's unfortunate that the situation happened to her, but at the same time, it's an example or it's a lesson in terms of how we view the cultural aspects of our reality here in America versus how we exude that or how we try to exemplify toward another society or another country that Americanism, especially dealing with black folk. That's why I keep taking it back to black women. Black women are the light bearers of a certain aspect of progressivism in the United States. But when shit go awry, that conservatism jump right up out of them. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. That's why I say libertarian language identifies all that, because I'm not going to take a situation and broaden it based on certain cultural aspects of the group. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But in any event, yeah, I just wanted to come on and say that if anybody else want to hop up, the link is in the chat. Other than that, I'm gonna go and get up out of here. Things coming up. I'm excited for Sunday, or if Black Sun can get her on earlier, because this particular situation definitely goes to the topic that Nature Mom was discussing Sunday. That discussion is supposed to continue this coming up Sunday. I'm interested to see what Nature Mom's position is on this particular example, and how she can spin it. Because like I said, Nature Mom, from what I've concluded based on the interactions that I've had with her talking about this particular aspect, Nature Mom is okay with a theocratic government based on certain moral and cultural positions. I don't think all women would agree with that, but I think they will confide into that based on a a conservative aspect of a man being there to protect a woman, just not a man being there to enforce a position on a woman, if that makes sense. They're cool with accepting conservatism based on protections and certain cultural aspects that benefit them from a material aspect. But anything got to do with the involvement of their decorum, nah, they ain't trying to hear it. I'm telling you, they ain't trying to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we dealing with. Peace, hey, peace. What's up? Giddy, you want to come up? Oh, you in the back? Okay, let me bring you up real fast before I jump off.
Yo.
Hey,
What
Peace,
up?
what's up?
Yo, what up, MD, man? Good morning, man. Good. I'm just waking up. I saw you there, and I just heard you say. So I don't know what you're talking about, man, but I'll come up in an hour.
Oh, yeah. We talking about the situation with the young sister getting arrested in Dubai.
Oh gosh, the trucker.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey. I heard this guy, Dennis Sperling. He had one really great take, and he said that this is he. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but he said that this is like a judgment against the matriarchy. That the patriarchy is coming up for them, and this is what he said. He said that the patriarchy. See how they doing in France? The Muslims over there are acting up in France, and they rioted and everything. And then also in America, how you got the Mexicans coming up, how the government got them coming up, and my boy said that he saw a whole bunch of Mexicans that the immigrants, how they came up and they giving them free scooters, like e-scooters, yo. Those things are expensive, yo. They throwing money at them, so they coming to a black city near you, man.
Right.
And you know that these people don't play that all that letting women get in their face with all that sassy talk, because they're not from that. They don't know about anything like that.
Right.
They're not used to that. But we are. But you got people that could be potentially coming from different places on the planet that are very patriarchal. You know what I'm saying? And that was just an interesting take to me, because it's like, wow, the Muslims and the Mexicans.
Yeah. No doubt, I agree with that part. But like I said, how much is it to do about nothing when it comes to what we perceive patriarchal society to be? Like I said, I think me personally, I believe women straddle both sides of the fence when it comes to that, because it's certain aspects of patriarchy that they accept based on the benefit of their protection.
Yeah.
But when it comes to individual equality, rights, and freedoms, that's when patriarchy got to be shut down.
Well, you see, that's the whole thing.
Way.
No, but see, that's going to be the thing. It's going to get to a point where you're going to need protection. And once that happens, matriarchy's done. So right now, man, even yesterday, I went to the store at my job, and you got the crackheads and everything. They started to get mad. They like, yo, I don't want no food. Give me money. And he started wilding out with the cops right in front of him, and he didn't care. And the cops actually left. And we was in an Arab store, and he was chasing after this lady that knew him, and he was like, oh, I knew you since you knew me since I was a child. You mean you can't give me no money?
Right.
And he's like, nah, I don't want no food. And then she brought him to the store to get him something to eat. He was like, nah, I want money. And he was just, you could tell that he was just geeking for, like, he was starting to get mad. And this is the thing that I think the Bible spoke about, where it says something like the beast of the field will come up and start to slay the people. And I personally believe that it could be the animals and everything, but it also could be the demons inside of the people that are going to start to take certain control over their hosts, and they're going to start to wild out. And when that happens, between the Mexicans coming up and the demons acting up in the subways and the buses, these women are getting terrified. Every time I'll be in the subway and somebody starts wilding out, they start getting behind me. They start looking for the big dude, and they all that feminism shit out the window, B.
Right. Hey, this Sunday, I believe at 11:30, we're gonna do mornings with Nature Mom. Hey, I want you to be. I want you to, if you got time, man. I want you to come on that show, man, because we're gonna be talking about that very thing. Black Son's sister, Nature Mom, she believes now she won't say it per se, but she also believes that it should be certain theocratic laws put in place in order to institute these protections, man. And I think you and her would agree on that aspect. It's gonna be some debate going.
Oh, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I expect.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man, this Sunday, Nature Mom, we're gonna be continuing that conversation
I just want
that
people
we
to be
had.
honest. I want people to be honest. Like you know, like if I got you, just you know, you don't have to
Yeah.
agree with me, but be like, you know, don't try to, you know, duck and dodge and move and you know, be slick with it. But that's part of the atmosphere anyway. So you know,
Nah, it's all good. Yeah, because like I said, I remember when we had you on last time, you pretty much flat out said, yeah, America should be a theocracy. You know what I mean? With all the laws should be aspects of biblical tradition. You know
hey,
what I mean?
that's how it all started.
Well,
Everything
well,
started.
we'll argue about that too. You know what
But
I'm saying?
real quick, and there's a part in the thing where the first democracy was in the Bible, was the Israelites. Well, it wasn't a democracy per se, but when Moses had to handle all of the affairs, he couldn't do it. So he had to delegate people in for certain sections. That is a republic.
Black son, where you at, Black son?
So
I know you heard that.
the first time that came up and was ever done was in the Bible. It was before Greece, and Greece is probably what the first country, the first empire that did that, right? Would you agree not?
Yeah,
Election
in history says that Greece is the creator of a democracy.
yeah. So basically, he's like a Greece guy, ultimately, because he says the Constitution is the ultimate, but the beginning of that, the genesis of that, is Greece, and that's before Greece. There was a part that's
Okay.
way before Greece, because when Israel was being formed, that was way before Persia, and Persia was the thing that was right before Greece. And actually, I was in Daniel when Israel was in captivity, where it says that you know the why he had to fight the prince of Persia, and he needed Michael the archangel, and he says after the prince of Persia was going to come, then the prince of Greece was going to come. So that's in
Oh,
like that's way before.
Black son, what's up, Black son? Did,
Yeah,
did you did
Yeah,
you hear that?
yeah, I heard it. I would argue and say that America is the first uh, atheistic country.
nah, it changed into it, and it's still not. It's not an atheist country. It's just that it's starting to the prophecies say that you have the antichrist system that's coming up, and it's here. So now it's going to start to fight against God, which is all prophesied and everything. So it's giving
So,
people a choice. It's
so
giving
Kenny,
people a choice.
let's take it back
And
to
that's
England.
why that's why this is happening right now, because
Okay.
God wants this to have to be like this, to where either you're gonna be atheist or you're gonna roll with God, and then which God you're gonna roll with. So there has to
Okay.
be temptation.
So can we take it back to England, or you want to take it back to Versailles in France? Where do you want to take it back to?
Take it back to Greece. That's where it started. Like right now, the
I
Genesis
can't
was
go back. Okay, no. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you Greece. Can we make it more modern though? I want to show you the evolution of why America. Let me just so. Do you agree that the let's say King Louis the 14th? at the time believed that God ordained a king? Do you believe that?
I don't know about that because like right now I have to go back to that goes back to whatchamacallit in the Bible where it talks about Saul, King Saul, and the people was begging God, God, give us a king that we could see. And God was like, I'm your king. But they said, you know what? Because it's in your nature and we're gonna see how this falls out. I'll give you a king. And he gave him King Saul, and we saw how that ended up. So you would have to go back to the original. Now you want to go like to Louis the 14th, you know, I'll have to look up to all of that.
Okay, so let me keep it more simple. Do you believe that the people believe that God brought them a king?
The people, well, I mean, okay, they probably believed it. Okay, I don't, you know, if they're wrong, it doesn't matter. But
No,
the only
it's not
time your
about.
belief, the only time your belief matters is if it's right.
Okay, I was trying to go somewhere with this, but I guess let me just be okay. Let me just cut to the chase. People in Europe, especially France and England, the majority of people believe that God ordained them a king.
Okay.
Okay, so you follow me so far? Okay, so it was the common theme amongst people in England and France. That King Henry, King Louis, during this time that God appointed them a king. So the king were always ordained by God. So God and the king were as one in these societies. You follow me so far?
Okay.
Okay, so when the colonies broke away from England, the colonies here in America, they called themselves the king haters. So when they went against the king, they went against God too.
Okay. That's a
Okay,
stretch, but
that's not a stretch. That's a fact.
no, that's a stretch.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Why how could you go against God and the king was doing corrupt stuff?
No, well, that's my whole point.
That's
The
what I'm trying to say. So
okay, okay.
you're trying to blame God for the corruption of men, and that's going to be
No,
your.
no, no. I think that's why I got to slow this thing down.
That's what you're ultimately
God
trying to
and the
do.
king. Okay, the society at that time believed that God and the king were intertwined. I mean, that's why I was trying to.
Well, that's wrong. It doesn't matter
That,
what you believe
no,
if
no,
you're
no,
wrong.
no, no. That's not a belief. That's a fact.
No,
This is a fact.
that's what they believe, but that's a wrong
Okay,
belief that God
okay,
and
but Gideon, you're looking at it hindsight. You're looking at it now, saying, "You God, you're interjecting your opinion on a fact." The
now to
fact is,
interject right now the king
okay.
and any king. Only what you gonna talk about King David? I'll give you
No, no,
that.
no,
You
no,
gonna
no,
talk
no, no,
about
no. I'm not
King
talking
Louis the
about King
Eighth?
David.
Sorry.
Okay, hold on a second. MD, do you know where I'm going with this? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because maybe I'm not
But you
conveying
know
it
that
right.
I understand what you're saying, but I also
Can you?
understand what Gideon's saying. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
like
can. Yeah,
you
yeah, I
had
can.
good kings. Look, you had good kings and bad kings in Israel. So and then there were bad kings that God had to kill in Israel.
And now here's why I push back on you a little bit, Black Son. You
Okay.
had King Louis that the people said was ordained by God, but you also had on the same token the Tudors or not the Tudors, the Windsors at that particular time, where the Anglo-Saxon church was saying that they were ordained by God. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. So you kind of okay. So now you kind of get what I'm saying, MD, because I think Gideon. I think I lost him. Okay. So let me ask you the question, MD. Did the people at that time in those societies believe that the king and God were intertwined? It's just a simple question.
Yeah. Within the society, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So when the colonies, this is now I'm going to state another fact, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, MD. The colonies, when they rebelled against the king, they were known, they declared themselves as the king hater. Are you
Okay.
aware of this fact? Okay, so
Yes.
when they declared themselves as the king hater, they were also going in a society where you disagree with it or not. When you go against the king, you go against God. So now where they're the king hater, they were God haters too.
Okay, so I would agree with the society looking at the king being ordained by God. There also,
Right.
I agree with that.
Right.
Bring it in
So
the context of no, you got to bring it in the context of how certain aspects of the society that were deemed justifiable by God. How were they defining that though?
okay, ask that question again. I'm a little lost on it. Damn.
So so I agree with your point saying that the society at large, in whatever society it would have been, that they agree or there's a consensus that this particular person is ordained by God. I
Right.
agree with that.
Okay.
In the aspect of the king haters, what aspect of everyday life or what they were defying from the king is also an aspect of God itself? What
Well,
what what part of that are they defying?
okay, so at the time they defined so the king has a right to tax you. So they're saying because the king is ordained by God, it is righteous for us to get whatever the king asks. We're gonna give it to the king because the king is ordained by God. So the king haters are all like, man, fuck the king, and man, fuck God too. Shit, fuck it. That's the attitude. Is what I'm trying to convey. That's what I guess I'm not conveying. That was the attitude at the time. Fuck the king and fuck. And if God ordained king, then fuck that too. Fuck all that shit. That's where the
All right, do you
revolution
do you
started.
agree? So do you agree with that then, Giddy?
Well, people are doing that when they sin. And if you sin, you hate God. If a king sin, he hates God. God is the only thing that is incorruptible out here. Anything else, as soon as you start to turn away from God, you are now not of God. So I don't care what the office used to be. It departs the Lord. You once you depart the Lord, it's a part in the Bible called Ichabod. For the the king has departed, and God had to come and check the king and wrote on a wall and shut them all up. Like you departed the Lord, Ichabod, yo. So if you want to do some craziness and you want to depart the Lord, you can't put God's name on it. That's the whole thing. Now, if you want to be a good king, like how Hezekiah was, David was, Solomon at one point was, it was momentary, but then they fall, they make a mistake, and either they redeem themselves or God judges them, and they like Ahab. He was a king of Israel, right? But he let Jezebel live, and God said he was the worst king of all Israel. You had Jeroboam, Rehoboam. All these are all different kings that they started out good or they started out bad, and then they ended up good or they ended up bad. And God is the standard. He's not okay. It's the office. No, it's not the office of the king. It's where you at with God. That's the only thing that matters. God is a standard. He's holy, and he's the only thing out here that's holy. You know.
Yeah, I think you and Black Son are like saying two different things. Like Black
No,
Black
but
Son,
he's trying to say like right now, if you say F the king, then you're saying F God. But if you're going against righteousness, then you're saying F God. Not because so if the king is doing something crazy, then you could be like, okay, I don't have to follow that guy no more because he's not with God anymore.
okay,
It's
so
influx. It's influx. It's not something that is just it's not static. It's influx.
so we brought up taxes. Is taxes of God?
It depends. It depends. Like right now, if you're what are you taxing? Are you is it just like if you're making the roads and everything and all of that, and then because in the Bible they had to do their tithes, and it was considered like you had to do it, meaning that it couldn't be forcibly taken from you. And it said that if you wouldn't pay the tithes, which is the salary and the food for the priests, because they don't work because they spend all day serving the Lord. And the God says, if you take care of the priests, then I'm gonna take care of you. So that could be considered a tax, but if you're forcing them to pay the tax, I don't know about that. You know?
Okay. So basically, what you're saying is, it don't matter who the king was. It don't matter what the people say. If this person is doing something that's unrighteous,
Yeah, God is the
it ain't
standard.
about
God is the standard, not no king. The law and is the standard, and in the New Testament is Christ. He's the standard. He's the one that you got to base everything on. He's the he's the vector point. You know, you measure. He's the measure. He's a measuring stick. You know, you can't say the king is a measuring stick because the king is also under the investigation by his life. You know, you have to see, okay, that was a good move. That was a good move. Oh, he's starting to go crazy. Time to depart the king because I'm staying with God. You start to depart God, peace. You know?
all right, cool. Well, like I said, man, I hope you be in the building this Sunday, man. Like I said, I think
I
you
should be
can.
working, so I'll have to see about that. I should be working.
Okay, yeah. If you don't, man, just
Just listen.
watch the damn the replay, man.
Yeah. Oh, I'll try to chime in like when you're going to shoot it live. I'll probably be in the chat comment section and all that.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Cause like I said, man, I think you and Nature Mom, y'all got some similarities per se. Not all the way, but y'all got similarities
Well,
from a moral aspect.
you know, per se, unless you you know, you deal with God or you're born again or something to that effect, then you be my sister. But if you're trying to infuse this American liberal woman equal equality stuff,
Oh hell no, nah.
nah,
Yeah,
there's an order. There's an order, and a man is supposed to be the head of the home. And the reason why we're going through all of this nonsense right now is because that is under attack. They hate God. A lot of these feminist women, they hate God. They think they hate men, but men are in the image of God, so they really hate God.
damn. Yeah. That's conservative.
They don't
language.
know it. They don't know it. They don't understand it. They just be. They don't even know why they hate the men. They hate the men because the men that carry themselves in a masculine way. That's why they hated Trump. They hated Trump because even though he wasn't perfect, he carried himself like a man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We gonna have to break that down.
He wasn't pussyfooty. He was like, nah, this is what I think. And you want to know where you stand with somebody, man. I want men around me. So you know, we're supposed to debate and butt heads, and then iron's supposed to sharpen iron at that point, you know.
Yeah. We gotta break that down, man. Hey, man, we need to get the Truth Chaser show back up and running, man. Like, hey, I don't know if you saw, man. Hey, I saw B5 been in a couple of streams. Hey,
Oh
man,
yeah,
like, yeah.
where I gotta check them out, man.
No, he ain't hop on it. Like, he was in the comment section though.
Okay,
Like when I was live.
okay.
Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, over here, like if you want to show, like, yeah, you could do it, man. Hey, I value your insight on a lot. I think you bring like something to the table, like ain't over here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No, I have no problem coming through. I'll be looking for your shows, and it's like maybe I catch them at the wrong time. Anytime I'm able to hop on, I'm gonna hop on, man. Like today, I'm
Yeah, no
off
doubt.
today. I saw you. I woke up. I was like, "Yo, MD on? Okay, Dad, let me hop on."
Yeah. I'm just driving down the road, man. But yeah, man. I'm about to get ready to get it loaded, so I'm gonna go and get up out of here. I believe Yanga doing something a little bit later on. So check. I'm gonna be checking out Yanga. Like I said, I don't know tomorrow Arena Broad. So that's pretty much all we got. Like I said, Sunday. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I think that's gonna be an interesting discussion. I want to see what Nature Mom go with it, especially when it comes to this particular scenario with the Tierra Allen and Dubai. I want to see what she gonna go with that. And you said you sent it to her, right, Black Son?
Yeah, I sent it to her. Yeah, she got it. She said she'll be ready because she read the article. She's like, okay, yeah, she'll be ready Sunday.
All right, cool, cool. All right, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you have it, man. I just wanted to come on and talk about that real quick. I think it's an interesting dynamic, man. I think not just women, not just black women, but hell, all Americans, they need to like take a step back, like when we go to these different countries, man, and just think about what you're doing before you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I mean, it's cool carrying that Americanism with you where you go, but like, yo, like at some point in time, you got to respect other people's freedom, and that freedom may be the way they want to implement certain laws in their own country. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
hey,
nah,
that's what it is,
that's
man.
their country. That's their country. You can't impose what your feelings on these people. These countries
There you
are
go.
only in America. The hell's wrong with these
There
girls?
you go.
Well, they
There
go and
you go.
smack you. You get smacked over there.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta throw a third curveball at you. Gideon.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what if you have a country, right? And that country goes into civil war. They split off. Can that, so both sides, they have the right to petition help from other countries. So do they have a right to petition help from opposing countries?
Yeah, why not? I mean, anybody need help? Go ahead, man. Ask for it, man.
All right, so you have no problem with Putin, then?
No, anybody wants to. I mean, look, I'm not telling anybody what they should do. I'm telling everybody what they could do and what. I mean, well, I am telling people what they should do. They need to get with God, and they need to, they need to get with God, and people also, like right now, if you need help, can you help me? I cut myself. You gotta get me to a hospital. I'm not gonna knock anybody for asking for help, even if it's misguided. And that's all you know.
So what if you have both sides? Because Ukraine, they believe in God too, and one side saying God told them this, and the other side saying that God told them
It has to be right. It has to be right. Like see, that's the whole thing. And if you can name the name of the Lord, but are you following after His righteousness? Not your righteousness or my righteousness, His righteousness. I mean, you have to go in the Bible and see what God thinks about this, and then you have to fall in line. And then that's when you follow God. You can say, hey, look, if I say, hey, I'm a sinner, I mean, I'm falling in line because God said I was a sinner. So you have to see what God says about it, agree to it, fall in line, submit, and then you with God. But if you want to be like, I'm a Christian, but I'm going to do this against God, and hey, I'm a Christian because I'm naming the name, but, I'm doing this and it's not right. No, you're not following God at that point. It don't matter how many times you call His name. It says, he that does the will of my Father. So many people will say to me, Lord, Lord, but they're not doing the will of my Father, which is in heaven. So it doesn't matter what you name. Oh, I'm a Christian. Okay, what do you want? What are you trying to get? As soon as I find out that, I can determine, nah, you off right now, man. You gotta repent. It's a standard. It's an influx standard, a living Bible, man.
Hey, look, this is what we're gonna have to do. So let me get you on record right now, Apex. You said that the original concept of America was through theocratic means, or it was through true Christianity, right?
Well,
The original concept.
It started with Moses, man. When it was too much.
No. I'm just talking about America.
Okay.
I remember you saying that America was originally founded on Christianity, right?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, it was corrupting from the inside out. You had the Masons and everything that were there, and So it depends on how you want to say it. I didn't want to paint a broad stroke, and it's not accurate.
Okay, all right. So this is what we're gonna have to do.
With them, they they named the name, but what were they doing in the dark?
So basically, MD, him and Yang are in agreement. they're in agreement how this country started. So shout out to Yanga, shout out to Gideon. Y'all are pretty much lock and stock. And I'm saying that's not the case. But okay, I would
Yeah,
like to do a 2-on-1 debate.
yeah. What we gonna have to do? What we gonna have to do is I'm gonna hit you in the DMs, Apex. One of these days we gonna have to get you on a stream, and we're gonna have to dedicate a stream to just that topic.
No doubt, no doubt.
Just of was America founded on Christian principles? I would love that discussion. And like I said, I'm gonna get with you, man. We gonna get that going.
Cool, cool.
We gonna get that going, and we gonna let it to where we gonna get it to where, like, you can bring up stuff and everything. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, no doubt.
All right,
No doubt,
cool.
man.
All right, yeah. So with that being said, yeah, I'm stopping right now. So, shout out to everybody that came through. Like we had a few in here. Oh, Yanga said we ain't in agreement. Yanga said nah.
Oh, Yanga said no. I thought he said that.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, now, of course, now it's not a Christian country now, and I'm not saying it's a Christian country because it's not lined up with the Bible. Look at all the stuff that's going on now. But it was founded in ideals by a Christian country, but it corrupted itself like every nation does.
So Gideon, you gotta be
Right.
specific. So was Benjamin Franklin part of that?
From what I understand, like he was supposedly, I don't know about Benjamin Franklin. Thomas Jefferson was.
Okay, so
Benjamin
Thomas
Franklin.
Jefferson. Okay, bet. Thomas Jefferson. Okay.
From what I understand, I'll have to do the research and everything and all of that. But
Okay.
I think Benjamin Franklin. I mean, he may have been doing some other occult type sciences. I don't know if it's true or not. It has to be accurate.
He helped form the Magna Carta, which was pre-Constitution. But okay. So Thomas Jefferson. Okay, we could just go just on Thomas Jefferson. We could just say we can go based on his ideas.
Yeah, but and Younger saying that it was never a Christian country. That may be the case, but it had a lot of inspirations of that, But like I said, the only country that really did it with God's stamp of approval was Israel back in the day, ancient Israel. Now you got a lot of things that they get a lot of inspiration. Like the first time power was divided was happened with Moses, and that was before when Moses needed help when Israel was in the desert, and when they was in the desert for 40 years, and it was starting to overwhelm him, and he couldn't take it, and then that's when God came to Moses and was like, "Yo, you got to divide the stuff amongst the people, and only the big matters make it down to Moses with the through the chain of command." But then that's when he set people in leadership to handle it. So it wasn't just whatever the king says and this. Nah. It was like, okay, that's too small a matter for it to go to Moses, but he deputized me to handle it. So I'm gonna go ahead and handle it.
And Gideon, I agree with you with the ancient history with Israel and Greece and all that. But when we keep trying to pinpoint just where America started, where the United States of America. So
that's the main idea. It's like it's infringement. It's the main idea. Like, so that's where you got the thought from, was that. That's what I'm saying. So, like, it's like right now, that's like saying, like, okay, I invented matter. Like, no, I didn't. I may have did something with matter, but the original concept and idea is God. And you cannot have this copyright infringement and we think just because we're smart that, that I created matter or I did this. Any concept.
Okay. So with that being said, you believe that America was founded off the principles of that originality?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. We can talk about that still.
Yeah, that's a better way. And
so you saying America is a counterfeit
No, it's not a
Christian culture.
counterfeit. It was inspired. So it did. God didn't say you can't copy this. If God thought of it, that means it was the best way. So it's smart to copy after God. That's what you
But
want to do.
nonetheless, that was the original intent that you're saying
That's
to
how.
copy a government based on Christian ideology.
Yeah, and I mean that came up. It came up through God. It came up through God. So it's like this is how uh, business gets handled. You have to delegate authority, and delegate authority is like you become how you got the states and everything. That came from the Bible. That came
All
from.
right, cool.
All
That's
right,
what we'll
so
talk
when you
about.
say
That's what
Gideon,
we'll talk about.
hold on. So Gideon, when you say that the Bible is based on a hierarchy because the God is a hierarchy,
Yeah, if as long as it's not going against the main tenets of God, things have to get handled differently in different areas because you got different situations. Like if you have
okay, well America was established on anti-hierarchy. That's what I was trying to get to you
well, it's not
earlier.
about hierarchy. It's about how do you take care of business? How does stuff break down? Right now, if I got a problem, do I show up at Joe Biden's house? No, I gotta go to my local magistrate. It gets broken down. The authority and everything gets broken down to your area, to your locality. See what I'm saying? That was what I'm talking about. Came from God. So I don't have to go to President Biden if I got a problem. There's things set in motion that I got to go to my congressman in my area, my borough, my borough president, or my building association. All types of power. All power comes from God, and He breaks it down, and you got to follow the command upwards. So before I go to the president, I got to first go to my local Senate and Congress and all of that stuff, and then same thing in all the legislative branches. You
So I
know,
got one last question. Thomas Jefferson. Let's get back to Thomas Jefferson because you do agree he's one of the founding fathers, right? I'm going to ask you a straight question, and I want a straight answer. What did he mean by separation of church and state?
well, that's something that they came up with because they couldn't handle God and they wanted to sin. Ultimately,
Thank you. Thank you. You answered my question. Thank you. Okay, that answers my question. Okay.
so
All
and
right,
then
so
they
yeah. Go ahead. Finish up.
so
AP.
basically they was like, we can't handle God's laws. It's too extreme for us, and we got to make a provision for our sin. So we're gonna have to separate church and state. Like when Jesus was around, you had the Pharisees, and they had power of church and state. Now they separated that because they wanted to accommodate their sin. So that when the blind man got cast out of the temple, when Jesus healed the blind man and he got separated, he got cast out of the temple. Jesus had to go back to that guy because church and state was together. But and they was able to handle it then. But now, they wanna make a provision for their sin, so they want to separate. So now, if I start talking church stuff, like, oh, that's taboo, you can't do it. You can't talk about church and politics, right? Taboo now. And so they want to separate things and put them in their categories, and certain things shouldn't be separated.
So then the country was birthed in that then, right? Because the country was not established until the Constitution was laid out.
Yeah.
So so according to you, we were born in sin, and this country was born in sin, is what you're saying.
Well, of course, the only place that wasn't was Israel. So
I got you. I got
so
you.
that's obvious. But it's like I don't know if you come to that conclusion under the right context. Every country was messed up like that. But every country got something from God because God is the originator of all of this stuff.
So
God and then the devil who got it from God too.
so God inspired Thomas Jefferson to put down separation of church and state, right? He's saying, you know what, keep that shit separate. That was inspired by God.
Now, why would God do that?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's what I'm saying. He's not going to do that. Why would he separate the church and the state? You see, all the stuff that's happening now is because of that.
So was this country born before Thomas Jefferson put that in writing, separating church and state?
Well, it was being developed, so that was the progression of the country, and then it was in its embryonic state. But once the
So Gideon, when officially was this country officially established?
when
Was it
they
70?
signed, well, I guess when they signed the Constitution, but then also you didn't even have the 50 states, so the country's always in flux.
Okay, so when they signed that into the Constitution, the separation of church and state was put in there before it was official.
I'll have to go back into the research, but
Okay.
if you're trying to hold me to a point and then be like, hey, I got you.
No. I'm not trying to do a gotcha moment. I'm just saying that Thomas Jefferson, before this country was even birthed, they made sure they put in separation of church and state because of what they were going through with King George. King George.
I mean, if that's, I don't know if it's accurate or not. I have to look into it.
It's accurate. You can look into it. Yeah, it's accurate.
Because I don't want to agree to anything that's not accurate, and I'm still learning. I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers.
No. I'm not saying that. No. Like, again, this is not a gotcha moment. I'm saying before the country was established, the Constitution. So we both agree that the Constitution was finalized and the country was born. Correct?
I believe so. I have to.
Okay. Do you believe that Thomas Jefferson put the separation of church and state in that Constitution?
I don't know. I have to look it up. I don't want to say.
No problem. Okay, no problem. Okay.
If I don't know, I don't know.
Okay, no
Because
problem.
when it actually happened, the official time stream when it happened, and I couldn't tell you when, but I know it's there, and I know that when they started to separate the church and the state, it's like it depowered the church. And when it depowered the church, now it separated church from all other affairs. So then and then once that happened, it was a slippery slope.
Okay, but when I'm trying to establish, when did the church ever have power in America is what I'm trying to establish.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. That's a good point right there. I don't. It was there.
What I'm saying is they never had power. And then
they never had power.
Yes.
But they used to have the Ten Commandments in buildings and everything. It always was there. The most of it per se. But
that was involuntary. It just depended on each state, but that was never official. That was never a federal mandate.
I mean, it wasn't a federal mandate, but they used to swear. They used to swear on the Bible and stuff like that. Like that was always like the high authority within this country. Like they would swear on the Bible, and the further we go back in time, even in this country, the more the Bible and God meant something. But of course, in these times, it's prophesied that you're going to have the Antichrist coming up, new world order. So now these things are just eroding away, which is all prophesied. It's going to get bad.
So again, I got to ask you. Okay, so the Bible, you're talking about King James, correct?
Any Bible, I go with the original thing.
That's fine. What I'm saying is that when they said here in America, when they said screw the king, that means everything that came with the king. So the Bible, the English version was King James, and then you had King Charles III, you had King George. Basically, when they were saying screw the monarchy, screw everything that came with the monarchy. And the monarchy in England, they were the authority that made the translation at the time. So basically, if you say F the king, and F everything that the king represents. So they were rejecting everything that the king represents. So that included the Bible too.
Well, there was a lot. They were Bible people that were rejecting other Bible people, like the Reformation. People with bloody wars and everything. When you had the Calvinists versus the Protestants and the Arminianism. And so it goes into a whole bunch of things that goes on where they were fighting over translation or understandings of the Bible, and that's where you have the separation between the Catholic Church and the Protestants. Martin Luther had to nail the
Right,
thesis. On the wall.
that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like it's a whole bunch of other stuff, and you keep on. I don't know if you kind of lump everything in, it was a lot of fighting, but there always was a righteous path, and even the people that started out good, they ended up bad. Like Martin Luther started out wonderful, but he got corrupted. Calvinism, they got certain things, the tulips. They got certain things that were good, but then they got things that were bad, and kind of because they were so proud, they wanted to. They thought they could understand God more than God, and it's like, nah, you gotta allow God to be God, and they try predestination. If you're saved, then you can't be lost. Well, how do you know that? You're trying to say what God knows. It's like and many people died.
God is a hard sell to America because we were born in the Constitution. Like I said earlier, we were talking about how people go to different countries because of the Constitution. Within that Constitution is separation of church and state. So it's going to be God is going to be a hard sell. You're trying to convert this country that has never been a theocratic country into a theocratic country. That is going to be a hard sell.
No, you're right about that. But I'm trying to tell you that you're right in the sense that the people was supposed to be in charge, right? But that was an overreaction to something else that was wrong. And that's all humans do. They overreact to things that were done wrong. So if I punch you in the face, now you want to chop my head off. So it's like, it doesn't line up, man. Okay, punch him back in the face at least. Nah, I'm going to chop his head off. And I'm going to kill his family too. See what I'm saying? So, okay, yeah, you wanted retribution for getting punched in the face, and then you chop my head off and you killed my family. It doesn't line up. These are overreaction.
So look, like I said, this is what I want to do. I want to try to get a show together where we can compare and contrast these concepts and how they tie into the constitutionality of America. Like that'll be a great discussion. And like I said, I come up with different scenarios or whatever.
It has to be,
and we can back them up.
It has to be in order. Like you have, like Jesus says, do not judge according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment. And we have to. Everything has to be measured out. But the best judgment is done by God, obviously. And he's over the things that happen, but you can't just, because you got power, overreact to something. And okay, I'm gonna kill this fly by destroying your building. Like, come on.
So then I gotta ask Indeed this
one
question.
more question.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Indeed, I gotta.
No, because like I said, I'm finna close it out because I'm finna get loaded.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Unless you gonna rock out while I get loaded, like something, but.
No. I just want to ask a question. I mean,
go ahead.
Is this an informal debate? That's all I want to know because I want to make sure.
No, it's just a discussion, man. It's just a discussion.
I don't really debate.
Okay.
Bible told me not to debate, really.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, it'll be a general discussion. Okay, I just want to make sure.
But it's gonna be confined. It's gonna be confined to that topic, though. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And this, let me put it like this: even in the church, there's order. There has to be order, but then it's all under God. So you got, you could be a prophet, you could be whatever, you could be a pastor, you could be an evangelist. Everything, there's certain order. When there's a problem, there's certain thing. Okay, you go to the first elder, then the elder might send you to the pastor. But at the end of the day, all of that's under God. You see what I'm saying? So I think that may be a better way to the modern day church in America to bring it to up to today. When you go in a church and there's an issue that comes up, they are contingencies that are in place to handle it. And then you stay within those contingencies, you're good. You're following God's mandate. But if it requires more, then you just got to bump it up. Open door policy type thing. Okay, bump it up to the next thing. But you also have to show that you went to the level beneath and you didn't skip. Like that happens at my job. Like I can't go well, before I go to the union downtown, they're gonna be like, okay, when did you go to your chapter chair at your location? You see what I'm saying? And that's to be like, no, you can't come
Right,
to us.
right.
So it has to be an order that you showed that you exhausted, and you have to go up like steps. It's not just, hey, I'm important and I'm going to the top and I'm skipping the steps because I think that those people are corrupt. No, you got to give them a chance to be corrupt, and you have to prove it. And then you can say, hey, look, I went to them and they said this, and now I'm stepping it up and I'm coming to you now.
All right, so cool. Like I said, I'm gonna close it out, but I just want to ask this one question just to get clarity, and for Black Sun to have something to go off of when we eventually had this like discussion. Is it possible to be just and righteous without a concept of God?
It's
That's my
impossible.
last question. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
What are we basing being just and righteous off of?
God's word and God's presence and who He is.
Okay, all right. That's all I needed to know. I'm about to close it out. I get up with you, man. We'll try to set that up for a time and a date. Apex. We'll try to set that
Cool,
up.
cool.
Like
Hey,
I think, yo,
anytime.
all right, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, we're gonna try to set that up because I think it'll be a good discussion to have. Especially dealing with how we look at the Constitution, how we look at certain laws, and how we
And
define them and what we base them off of. You know what I mean?
and you could break it down to every instance. Like it doesn't have to be all the way at the
Yeah,
top.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what
You can break
I'm
it
gonna do.
down to
I'm gonna break it down instant by
current
instant.
events.
Yeah, we can do that too. But I'm just talking about in terms of how we view certain laws in the country. Like I'm gonna bring specific laws, specific statute, and we're gonna try to tie that into righteousness in
But
the eyes of God. That's what we're gonna try to do.
here's the best way to put it. If you come in my house and I say take off your shoes, who are you to tell me no? I have
Hey,
jurisdiction.
I feel.
I got jurisdiction in my house. So God respects that. So if this is your house and I tell you to take off your shoes, you can't go to God and be like, God, I want mine to keep my shoes on. God's going to tell you that's His house. I gave it to Him. He has the right to tell you to take off your shoes. And if you don't agree with Him, He doesn't want you in there. Then you don't have a right to go in there. God gave it to me, and He gave me that authority, what He has given me. Now, if He didn't give me that authority, I can't tell you what to do with something that is not under my authority.
So
See what I'm
again, I
saying?
gotta ask the question: who gave Thomas Jefferson the authority to put this country under separation of church and state? That's what I'm trying to.
Well, if America took their authority and then they took it, and you could take a country, and now the country's under your authority, which is under your power.
Okay.
Power and authority goes together. So if you have the power to enforce, and then you got to come into that place under that leadership or that power. And then if you agree to come into that place and you got to abide by my rules, then you agree to abide by my rules.
So Gideon,
Once
okay,
you
so
agree-
watch this.
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, huh?
Once, and even Jesus said that. He said, look, Caesar can give you what you want, but long as it's not infringing on me. So it's like, okay, that's Caesar's money. Give it to him, but you ain't taking it from me.
So
See
Gideon,
what I'm
one of the house rules of America is separation of church and state.
That's fine, and all that is good.
But you're
Yeah,
talking about replacing that. You're talking about God's laws, God's that. So that basically would violate separation of church and state. So basically, you're violating the Constitution.
I'm violating the Constitution. Well, then, what? Like right now, we say thou shalt not murder, right? That's a law. They
Okay.
got that from God, right?
Okay.
And you know, and then the courts they say, you know, they swear on the Bible, right?
Not necessarily, but okay.
Black
I see your
Black Son,
point.
you let that pass.
So
You let that
God,
pass, Black Son. He asked you that is that a law from God? You didn't get no pushback on that.
I'm sorry. I was letting him finish. Okay, my bad. I would say no. That's a universal law. To answer your question, no, that's a
okay, so
universal
where
law.
did they get that from?
They just got that comes from man. That comes from man. I could trace that back
No,
to.
when God gave those commandments, that was never that was never there previously. It was never there previously. Thou shalt not murder. That came from God.
So, whoa. Dang, because I know, man, you got to close it out, man. See this? Yeah, we got to
Hey, rock
continue
out,
this,
bro.
bro.
Like I'm about to get loaded. If you want to rock out, bro. Like you close it out.
Okay, damn. Because I'm in a bad area too, though, MD. That's the thing. I don't want to damn get it crunking and I'm, in and out. Damn. Uh, damn, Gideon. Gideon, man, you got to come back, bro. You got to come back. Hello? Yeah, see, my shit's going out now. Hello?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, my shit's in and out, man. Damn.
I hear you. All right, man. With that being said, let's just go and close it out, bro.
Hold on. I got one more thing to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Gideon.
Yeah.
How the fuck you gonna overrule the Constitution, man?
Keep the defendant silent.
Hey, overrule the Constitution. So basically, you want to use the Constitution to get God out of there when the Constitution was inspired by God, and now you want to use it to get God out of it.
Wait. See, don't. Oh my gosh. Gideon, you're killing me. You said the Constitution was inspired by God. Okay, and in the Constitution it says separation of church and state. You're killing me, Gideon. You're killing me.
You got the
Ruled.
How the fuck you gonna overrule the Constitution, man?
Defense. Keep the defendant silent.
And as you can see, this is what happens. You try, even people in the country are trying to overrule the Constitution. Like, what about the Patriot Act? What about freedom of speech?
I agree. I agree.
What you see what I'm saying? So now it's starting to, the old Constitution is turning in on itself.
But no, that's people. That's people trying to defy the Constitution.
Yeah, you got
But they're using it under means of coercion based on certain events. I agree with that aspect. You
yeah,
don't get no argument from me.
like you got people that are doing things that's taking away from people's freedom, and they're using their money to take away from people's freedom. So now it's like, there's no more freedom of speech because now it's hate speech. So freedom, you can throw that away. Freedom of speech, right? Freedom of the press, right? But you can't go on Twitter and talk about the alphabet community. So how tell me about your Constitution now?
Hey, yeah, we're gonna have to have this discussion, man.
See what I'm saying? So it's corrupted itself.
We're gonna have to have this discussion, man. Hey, like I said, if you ain't gonna rock out, Black Sun, I'm gonna close it out.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, we got.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, Apex, I'll hit you up, man. Like, let me know, and we'll try to get the date and time together, man. Cause like I said, I really want to have that talk.
Cool.
All right, cool, man. Hey, with that being said, hey, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Shout out to Yanga too, man. Yanga.
Black Sun.
Who else?
Hey,
Okay, cool. All right, Reese. I seen Shane Crewman here for a little minute. Forever TS2. Yeah, man. Hey, we'll see y'all on the next one. Hey, Arena Broad tomorrow. And with that, man, we're gonna say peace.